Yo, this your girl Aina Brei'Yon. Today I want to tell you guys what I learned about life just by fixing my truck, fixing my own truck, right? And I'm glad it happened this way because I got to get familiar with my truck and really understand my truck inside out. And it taught me about life. It taught me about patience, and it taught me about the negatives and the positives working together. Now, I always use this analogy that my guy Billionaire used when he says, if you think about a car battery, there's a negative and a positive, and that car will not start if they do not work together, right? And there's a lot of us that want to get caught up on, or we want life to be like full of positive things and just peachy and going our way, but it does not work without the negatives. And what I learned fixing my truck, right? I want to tell you guys the whole story. So let me go back. I've been experiencing miscommunication issues with my truck for like a month, right? But it was at least communicating enough to get me to point A to point B. Because everything is like ran by a computer now, right? So one day I just decided, bam, I'm not going to communicate at all. First, it didn't let me in. Wouldn't unlock, nothing. And then when I finally got in, it wouldn't start. It was like giving me either or, like you either want to get in, because it let me start it at first because I got a remote starter. Let me start it, but it wouldn't unlock the doors for me to get in order for me to ride off. And then when it let me in, I had to shut down the car in order for it to let me in. I mean, the truck. And then it unlocked the doors, let me in, but then it wouldn't start. And it's the longest it ever delayed, right? So I had to get it towed to a mechanic. Sent it to the mechanic. The mechanic had it for like a week and a half. Told me it might be the body control module. In order for me to order it, I need the part number, so I asked him to pull it. He took a picture of the wrong part, so that kind of like scared me a little bit. Where I'm like, okay, I don't trust my truck being there any longer. So I got it towed back to me. At first, I was going to get it towed to GM because I would pay the money just to not be stressed about it and to get my truck back, because you can't get your time back. And my stuff was there for like a week and a half. You can't get your time back. And I know they're going to knock my stuff out in at least a day. But I could get the money that I'm going to spend with GM back. But something in me was like, nah, get your truck back, learn your truck, get familiar with your truck. You could do this yourself. Got it back, spent the weekend with it, right? And this is what I'm noticing in my truck. All of these ground wires, okay? And when you on YouTube and you're looking at all these videos on how to fix this, what's that, I noticed that, okay, in order for you to touch anything that's computerized, you have to undo the battery first, because now you have to do a reset, fix any glitches that's, taking place with your computers communicating with each other. You always got to take the negative off first and then the positive. You actually don't even have to take the positive off. In order to shut everything down, you have to take the negative off, because nothing starts without the negative. Ground wires. All of this electrical stuff that's taking place, right? I'm just thinking about us being electric beings, and how even in your house, man, like when they're doing your electricity, they have to ground everything in order for everything to work properly and not catch on fire. And I'm looking at this truck and I'm like, everything negative in here is called grounding. The positive does not work on its own. You need the negatives. You need the grounding. Your negative experiences literally ground you and helps you move forward in a positive way. And it's actually a positive. We complain about it because we don't really understand how nothing really moves without it. You know how many people that don't have spark under them unless they're under some type of negative circumstance or pressure where they have no choice but to get up and get it together and move everything forward? It's really hard to appreciate anything positive in your life without going through this end. And a lot of us, we want a life just full of positivity, positive moments, happy moments, right? But what makes those moments appreciated is the other end of that spectrum. They work together. We have to find some way to be in the middle of it all. To not cling on to this end, because this is what the cars do, right? They come together and they balances out everything so everything can move forward. We have to learn how to not attach to neither end of the spectrum. Because if I just kept my positive terminal activated on my truck, but I removed the negative, nothing moved. Nothing started. Nothing communicated properly without that negative. Nothing. So, finding your way to work with all of your experiences, to work with everything that's thrown your way, to work with both ends of the spectrum, and realize nothing is bad unless you mentally accept it as bad. Everything could be used unless you just choose not to use it. But if you want life to be on a higher end, if you want to maneuver through life, you have to stay on a higher end of even your lowest moments. You have to appreciate all parts of it. It's just like those people who only thank God when things are going great. Right? But as soon as life start happening, they ask, why me, God? Instead of saying, thank you, God. Because there's something good still happening simultaneously. It's just this negative part of your life got your attention. It got your focus. It's weighing on you to the point where you can't even express gratitude or see everything else that there is existing at the same time that you can be grateful for. Just wanted to share that with y'all real quick, man. Hope y'all got something out of it. But stay grounded. Let those parts of life that you have no control over ground you. And appreciate life in its totality. Not just certain parts of it. All right. Y'all have a beautiful day.